Hello, my name is Samuel Olaya. I'm here to show off my library project. For my project, I chose to do a library system because I wanted to do something based off some of my hobbies, which I like reading. The program works just like a real library. Users can sign up, log in, and view books available. They can choose to rent them and then later return them. There's also an admin feature for staff, which allows them to manage the book inventory, transactions, and accounts. The system uses create, read, update, and delete. My database is quite simple. I only use 3 tables as I felt that was all I really needed. The members table stores account details like ID, name, email, and the type of account. The book table stores title, author, the type of book, and then the quantity of the book we have in store. And then the rental table records transactions, including who borrowed which book, and then what date they rented them out, and then what date they returned them. I designed this using third normal form to avoid duplication. The rental table is used to link the members and the books table with foreign keys. The project uses create, read, update, and delete to update members, books, and rental transactions in the system. Connections to the database are handled by JDBC using database utils and prepared statements. I also included checks. For example, a user cannot rent a book when there's no copies available. Different users are given different accesses to the system. The staff can manage stock and delete users with admin roles, and students can rent and return books. I tried to keep the interface nice and simple, using just simple words and directions for a user to navigate. As you can see here, when starting up the page, a user is asked to sign up or make an account, or just log in, assuming they already have one. When you start the program, it'll ask you to press L for login or S to sign up. If you log in, you just put in your email and it'll automatically recognize you. And if you're signing up, you just put in your name, your email, and the type of account you want. This would be the first use of CRUD shown. Signing up allows the user to add their details into the database, allowing them to recall it later when necessary. If an account was just made, like you see here with the sign up, it'll revert you back to typing in your email. So it shows that your email or your details has just been saved. So just, put them in again. Users have accounts now will be able to update their details. For example, their name, email, or to even delete their account. As you can see here, you can update your name, email, type, or delete. They can also view what books they have out. So this is just an example account. They've rented out 2 books. These are the dates they were rented out on. And then, as you can see, they haven't been returned yet, so it's just a no. And then staff are also able to delete and manage stock. They can add books or delete books. For testing, I created a manual sign-up test that runs directly against the database. The test deletes any old test rows with the same email and adds a new member in the database. It then goes to the login class and calls to that member. It finishes by doing checks and deleting the member so it can run again without duplicates. Tests like these help me confirm that the startup and login worked correctly. I wrote all my code in IntelliJ, but I used GitHub to safely save the project as I was working on it. GitHub is useful because it allows users to have a backup of their code on a cloud and to prevent losing work as you're working on it, instead of maybe just doing it on one system. If the system ever goes down, then all your work is gone. But with GitHub, there's a backup. Even though I worked on the project alone, it's still a useful practice when working in groups. It can help sending code back and forth. So how this works is, I guess I'll do my first example, just signing up. Just press S, see my name, sign, and then just. So you put in your details, and the account made. So I'll just put that same email back in, and I'll welcome you, and I'll give you a list of things. If you want to look at the books we have in store, it would show you the name of the books, the author, whether it's an ebook or a printed copy, and then I'll show you the amount of copies of the book we have available, and I'll bring you back to the menu again. You can search for a book title. Just use Harry Potter, and I'll show up all the titles with the keywords, and then back to the menu. You can choose to rent a book, and then you just put in the book ID. We'll just use the first one there, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, 6. I'm going to say rented. And then if you want to go and return the book, just put in the same 6 there. and the book's now returned, and we can view the rentals. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets out, and then returned. Now if I wanted to maybe change my account details, like maybe change my name, update name, put on 1. No, just use John, for example. And now I have a new name, and that's the project. If I want to exit and maybe sign in with a staff email, just run it again. So now I've opened up, I've logged in with a staff account this time, just to show you. It would still have some of the same features. Let's just look at the list of books, do anything, the same features, but then we have the admin mode. This will allow you to delete an account, add a book, list a new book, or delete a book by the ID. If you want to just maybe delete an account, we'll delete the account I just made. So just put in the example, atu.ie, and that account is now deleted. If we try to log in with the same account, it'll no longer be there. You'd have to sign up and do the whole process again. And then to maybe add a new book, allows me to put in the book title, so I guess I'll just make something up. For dummies, author, just put myself, and then I'll make this a ebook. And we'll say there's 5. And now, if you went to the list of books, there would be at the bottom. And obviously, since that's nonsense, we can just delete the book. And there we go. Now I'll just give a quick walk through my main classes, just to kind of show how they're structured, and maybe just explain a quick what they do. This is the account class. It handles account-related actions like update name, email, type. It also includes a delete function that allows a user to delete their account, and it also cleans up their rentals so the system wouldn't break. It's basically just an account management side of the program. This account info is just a model class. It just stores the basic details of the member. It's really just there to kind of hold information. The book class represents a book in the library. It just keeps the details of the book. It makes it easier to work with a book as an object in the program instead of maybe just rows in the database. The library app is just the main program. It runs everything. When you launch it, it'll ask you to sign up or log in, and then it'll bring you to the main menu. From there, you can kind of just view the books, search, rent, or return, or whatever you want to do in the program. It kind of just ties everything together and controls the flow of the program. The login class handles just logging in, signing in. It checks the database to see if the email exists in the members table, and then it finds a match and returns it to account info with the details. This is the menu class. It's just for help or a guide essentially. It just displays all the options for the user, and it keeps the interface nice and simple and makes sure the user knows what choices they can make as they're moving through the app. The rental class just kind of controls the rental transactions. It stores the ID, title, and then the date and return date for the rental transaction. It kind of just keeps track of what has been rented out and then what books are in stock for any given time. The service class just would act as like a session manager. When somebody logs in, it keeps track of who is logged in, and it stores all their info as they're going through the app. This would be the sign up class. It's split from the login class, as I didn't think of the sign up class until maybe a bit later on in the project. It allows new users to make an account, inserts their details into the members table in the database, and make sure they get an ID. It's just how people would join the system. And then last but not least, you have the staff tab, the staff class. This class extends the system for admin users. It would allow them to delete accounts, list books, add books, and then delete books also. It gives people, it controls the different access that the staff would have than the students. I also wrote a test class to make sure that my sign up and my login were working correctly. The first test deletes any old data with the same email and name that we have here. It'll delete from members, and then it inserts a new member detail into the database. It'll first check that the old member ID was generated, and then using the login class, it would log the user in, and then it would compare the store values, like compare the email, name, and then the type of the account to make sure everything matched. And then it would delete everything again, and it would write if the test passed or the test failed. This was just to show that my login and signups were working. Doing this project taught me how to efficiently connect to Java with a MySQL database, and how to properly design a database with normalization. This project helped me get more comfortable to structuring a program using OOP concepts like inheritance and interfaces, and then manually testing my work as I went along. I did face some challenges doing this project, but they were mainly for time management and maybe fixing the database. But I learned from those experiences, and going forward, I would feel more comfortable working with Java and databases or doing other similar software projects.